Now, Northwest Norfolk's Conservative MP James Wild has raised the financial state of Kings Lynn and other clubs at that level and the Football Governance Bill, and asked what support is available for clubs in a position like the Linnets. And we can talk to James Wild now. James, thanks for joining us. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, clearly, I mean, on the pitch, it was a successful season for Kings Lynn Town, but the budget is being cut, according to the manager, and now the manager's been relieved of his duties as well. So, clearly, it's a challenge. All is not well at the club at the moment, is it?
Yeah, I think Adam did a good job. He kept us up and then put us into the playoffs, and unfortunately, we didn't get through. I think it just underlines the challenges of football at this level, and particularly for non-league clubs who had to take out survival loans, sports survival loans during COVID to keep in business, which overall there were millions of pounds. £13 million was lent to 34 non-league clubs, including Kings Lynn. And my concern is that the repayment of those loans now threatens the viability of some clubs. So that needs to be looked at, and the government needs to work with clubs and with fans to get a sustainable solution.
So from your understanding of the situation at Kings Lynn, do you think having to repay the COVID loan is one of the reasons why the finances are so tight?
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the challenges. And the investors have said that they need to restructure the debt, and they've been in discussions with Sport England around that. And that's why I raised it with the minister, because ultimately the decisions on that is likely to go to them, which is why I want to sit down with the officials and with the ministers to talk it through with the club to see if we can work out a solution that works for all parties, that is fair. The club's talked about bringing in the supporters trust as a shareholder, for example, to put the club on a more sustainable footing. It's right at the heart of our community in Lynn, so I want to make sure it succeeds, and that's what I've been doing since I was elected, really. And when COVID hit, the club had real difficulties, and I supported them through that period, and I'm continue to support them now to try and get a clearer, more sustainable future for the club.
Yeah, this goes beyond Kings Lynn Town. You mentioned it there, the importance that sports clubs and football clubs play in the community. That is ultimately why they got help during COVID, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, they're absolutely essential and very important for the community spirit and the feel of the town and the vibrancy. And we want to keep them going and make them sustainable. And in this case, these clubs have got a lot of debt that's hanging over them, which ultimately, when they come back to repay it, could be very challenging. So if we can restructure the loans in a fair way and then bring in some extra investment in capital, then that's got to be something that we work to do. And that's what I'm trying to do with Kings Lynn Town, with the investors, with the owner, to try and get to a resolution.
There'll be those who are perhaps not football supporters, not Kings Lynn Town supporters, who'll be saying, my goodness, why should football clubs get special treatment? That they are businesses, and it's up to them to make themselves financially viable.
Yes, that's true. That's why I emphasise the need for it to be fair for all parties. And there's obviously the investment that's gone into Kings Lynn. There are obviously loans that are outstanding for Kings Lynn from outside investors, as well as the one that they took from the government. But I think it's important that where the government has got a significant stake essentially through the debt, that it looks as it would, other investors would look to see how they can make the business viable. Ultimately, it's in no one's interest, it's not in the government's interest for any of those clubs that took loans to be going out of business because they can't repay them. So the sensible thing to do is to sit down and work out what's a reasonable and fair way to put clubs on a sustainable footing, because I think they are very important in terms of the community and the passion that people have for football clubs. I do think that we need to support that.
Are you worried about the club's future?
Well, I'm talking to them fairly regularly to try and support them as much as possible. And there's a plan that they've put forward that will put the club into a sustainable position. And that's obviously could potentially be a negotiation with the government, with the Sport England, over what that looks like. Obviously, there's a meeting this evening with the Blue and Gold Supporters Society, who've been talking about putting in nearly £100,000 potentially to take equity into the club. So there are options out there that could work. So I'm confident that Kings Lynn will be on a sustainable basis, but we need to work hard to achieve that.
Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll certainly keep in touch with what happens. James Wild there, who's the Conservative MP for Northwest Norfolk, and has been raising concerns about the financial position that Kings Lynn Town and other football clubs at that level find themselves in. Of course,